Hello everybody out there on YouTube, it's James once again, and I honestly cannot say how happy I am uh, to know that I've reached over 4,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. And here I was thinking that I would never make it to 1,000, and that once I got to 1,000 that I'd be pretty much done and over with, but more and more people keep subscribing to my channel every day, and I'm happy for it because now I have over 4,000 new friends to share my love of trains with. So, in celebrating, I'm now doing a new segment on my channel called Trolley Tuesdays, where I'm going to show off one streetcar or trolley from my vast collection every Tuesday until I either run out or what have you. And I'll show you the streetcar, I'll give you some history on it, and then have it run around for a little bit. And of course, as you see, this is my 99.999995% complete streetcar layout. I just need to put the little road markings down over here, and then I'm pretty much done. But here it is. If you're wondering what I've used for the buildings, because they look really nice, these are what's called Cat's Meow village houses. And you can tell that it's a legit one because there's a little cat sitting on each one of these buildings. They're always hidden somewhere watching. And of course, they're glued to this big baseboard right here, and then on top I have this is actually duct tape that I use for the road, for the tarmac. It's this sort of like drab color, which is really nice. And then I used a Limax Village miniatures brickway and cut up the mat to fit within the rails over here to give it the illusion that it's at street level, which is really nice. And I do have a controller. This is my little streetcar controller right now. It's not entirely done. I don't have a bell added to it, but this is the main controller. This is the activator for the whistle, which is the Marx Gerard station, which is really nice. And I'll just give you a little demonstration how that works right now. So yeah, anyway, on with the streetcar. So this is an MTH bump and go streetcar. Now I know what some of you are saying. This looks a lot like one of your cars called Rosie. Well, yeah, it's the same type of car. It's a Brill car, single truck, with a deck roof. Now what's interesting, the way that it looks right now is how I bought it. It was already a custom job. And the seller that was selling this was trying to make it look like one of the trolleys from Porto, not Porto, Portugal, but from Milan, Italy. And I actually did some research, and I did find that some of them wore this kind of livery. They had a brown roof, followed by a cream midsection, and then a yellow undersection, which kind of looks cool, but I know it doesn't look like it on camera because of the lighting, but the yellow isn't as bright as it looks. It's actually a lot darker, and so is the brown. So it looks more like one of the streetcars from Porto, Portugal, which is what I'm actually going to be modifying this to look like. In fact, it's going to be modeled after the San Francisco Portugal car, number 189. And that one is a original Porto car. There were actually two main types of cars that they used. The first ones were American imports, just like number 122 Rosie. And then later on, when they wanted to expand the fleet, they simply took apart one of the existing American cars and copied each and every part of it and then rebuilt it, as you see here. They're identical copies. The only difference is that there's no US patents on them. And also, they don't have whistles. None of these cars have whistles. They only have bells, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, and this car, if I'm correct, 189 is still being restored over at San Francisco. I do know if you go to the car shops, you can go and visit it. So that's really cool. So yeah, I'm glad to own another one of these little Brill cars. I absolutely love these. These are probably one of my favorite MTH products I've ever had. So yeah, let's give it a quick little spin. So here we go. Oh, hang on a minute. There she goes. If it seems like it's running fast, the type of controller I'm using, this is an American Flyer drum style controller. And if you're wondering why there's a piece of tape over the indicator light over here, it's so that way the light doesn't like bleed into the video, because if there's a bunch of green light here, then the lens will kind of auto-focus itself to be more green in hue, which is not what I want. But this, yeah, look at that. Barely any juice, and it just takes off quite quickly. Now, this isn't a problem for the really old trolleys that I have in my collection. I have some from the 1950s and so on. So the older the car is, the higher the voltage amount it needs to operate. But as you go on to more modern stuff, the voltage needed to run these is actually a lot lower. So the newer stuff tends to run a lot more quickly on low power, as opposed to the older stuff, which runs a lot slower on this. Oop. Well, can't end a train video without having at least one derailment. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'll definitely be making more of these Trolley Tuesday videos on this little streetcar layout, as I will be retiring the old streetcar layout I have, but I'll definitely make sure to give it a proper send-off. Anyway, until then, may your rails be dry and trolley on.